Hey everyone, it's Trumpimp. This is the arrow segment of the bow and arrow tutorial. You don't have to make these arrows. Most other people on YouTube with their mini bows and arrows, they just end up shooting sticks like this. But what's the point in that? If you want to actually shoot it far and shoot it accurately, you can make something like this so that it's guided and it's a lot more fun. And there are two ways to make the arrows. This is the easy way. That's the way I'll be showing you, because the harder way, the way I prefer, is way too hard for beginners anyway. And so I'll just be showing you the simpler method, which still works pretty well. So what you're going to need is a ruler, preferably both metric and American units, a crafting knife with a micro saw blade. I believe this one is 32 teeth per inch. Not quite sure, but I don't know if you can see the teeth on it, but they're pretty small. And you also need some skewers between 5 and 6 inches. Skewers for dipping strawberries in chocolate, they work pretty well. That's what these are. The thinner the better, because if they're too heavy then they just won't fly as well. You're going to need an index card, scissors, and if you want to make it a little bit easier, a Dremel with a grinding bit on it. And also something to write with, and some multi-purpose glue. Alright, let's get started. First step you're going to want to do is create your arrow vanes. That's what they're called, the guiding feathers or whatever you have on an arrow. So how we do that is based on the dimensions of your arrow base, your arrow shaft. If it's pretty large, you're going to want to make a larger vane because it's heavier and needs more guidance. But if it's thinner like these, you're going to want to make it smaller. So on these ones I made a 1 inch and it works out pretty well. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll show you guys what it looks like once I'm done. So first I'm making a 1 inch line straight across, straight line, and then next I'll be making a line about right here that is 3/8 from the left, and that'll be going up about a 1/4 inch. Actually, let's make that 5/16 of an inch. And then next we'll be making a line at the end at the left side, going straight up again, and this one will be going up 3/16. Alright, and then you just make lines connecting the different lines you made. So that is one side. That's what it looks like. And now what we have to do is create the other side. And for ease, I developed this method a little bit ago. We just make it one piece instead of having two different vanes. You just make it one piece, and this is how you do it. In order for it to wrap around your arrow shaft, you have to leave a little bit of space between each vane. So the space I'll leave for this size shaft will be about, let's say, 1/8 of an inch. And then do the same exact thing that you did with the side you already did. Same measurements, and just match it up. So we'll do the 1 inch here. Alright, once again connect your lines. And this is basically what it should look like. I did it kind of sloppy because I'm filming, but that's what it should look like. Now we have to cut it out. Try to make your lines as parallel as possible so that the dimensions are the same on each side. It'll make it fly better. Alright, so once you've cut that out, just make sure it's pretty pretty precise to where you drew the line. Now what we should do is fold over each vein over the line. So I get a pretty flat, narrow, or thin object like this crafting knife, for example, with a saw blade on it, and I just fold it over like that. And then that creates a pretty precise fold and helps you fold it straightly. So we'll do that for both sides. Alright, so now we have them both folded. That'll just make it a little bit easier for it to wrap around the arrow shaft. The next part is pretty easy. You just take your multi-purpose glue and glue it on the strip, the middle, where it's going to fold around the arrow. Not too much glue, not too little. You want it to stick but not be, you know, saturated. Alright, so next you take your skewer and you place it on the arrow shaft, or place the veins on it anyway. And you're going to want to leave some space at the end so you have room to grip the arrow when you're about to shoot it. So I would say about, let's see how far that is. That's about 3/8 of an inch. You can also leave a little bit more, maybe half an inch. And then once you glue it on, you just sort of fold it around the arrow shaft, make sure it's smooth against it, and that once you put it on, it should be round around the shaft, not blocky like when you folded it. So it kind of helps to roll it on the desk to smooth out the folds. Then once you have that done, it should look something like this. Should be pretty flat against it, and that's about 3/8 of an inch. And then you just set it down to dry, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, this is the last step in your arrow. I kind of just finished the arrow without realizing that it wasn't recording, so I'm kind of, ticked off about that, but I'll just show you guys how I did it. It's kind of easier that way anyway. So what you want to do is get your crafting knife with your saw blade, and you have to cut a notch in the arrow large enough for your wire from your bow to fit in. So, and the best way to do this is to cut it so that it's parallel to your arrow veins, so that, if they're facing up, your notch should go directly in between them. So try to make your notch in the middle and just parallel with the arrow veins. What I usually do to help me start the notch, because it's kind of annoying sometimes, the saw blade can slip off and it might take you up to 5 minutes to start a notch. What I do is I turn on the Dremel, and this is a grinder tool for it, and I just sort of put it in the middle where I'm going to, saw my notch, and then I just sort of grind it down until I have a little bit going, and then I finish it off with the saw blade. So once you're done, make sure it's wide enough for your wire, once again, because if it's not, then you might snap the end of it, or it just won't fire right, or, there's a lot of possibilities. But this is what my notch looks like when it's finished. It's kind of blurry, but yeah, now we'll take it in the backyard and see how it flies. Here in the backyard, and I just noticed a problem with the arrow I just made. Without the metal rod at the end, the needle that I use in my more complicated arrows, it's kind of bottom heavy, it's back heavy, and if that happens, it's going to spiral out of control, not fly straight, and it won't hit your target. So what you need to do is counterbalance it. You need to put something around the front, and what I did was I put 2 paperclip rods that I cut, wrapped in electrical tape around the end of the arrow. So now it's definitely front heavy, and I should be able to hit the balloon over there. Although it's a pretty heavy arrow now, so I'll have to aim pretty high up and pull back the bow pretty far. So balloon's about 15 feet away. Good luck to me. There we go. And there's my cat right there, if you guys want to see him. I'm sure you do. Say hi, kitty cat. You're a star. Oops. Meow for me. You know, it's kind of funny. Oh, never mind. The doggy door covers up. But anyway, so that's how the arrow works pretty well. Let's go. Actually, it fell off of the box, so you won't be able to see it. But yeah, balloon's dead. So that's how you make an arrow. If you guys want to skip the step where you do all that tedious drawing and measuring on that index card, then I'll probably put a description or a link in the description anyway. And you can probably email me to purchase a index card with pre-printed arrow veins on it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.